Coming up on Cedar Valley today, mystery calls from Grossman anger police.
A petition for gender-neutral housing in Wartburg.
And it's Unified Sports Day's 14th year. This is Cedar Valley Today.
Hello and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Sam Sides.
And I'm Alyssa Edwards. A couple students could possibly be in trouble at Wartburg College. Several prank 911 calls are being made from a campus phone. CVT's Alicia Ungs has more on the story.
The first call came on December 1st, with dispatch alerting Wartburg security of a possible emergency. Someone had called 911 and then hung up, but by the time security arrived, whomever had made the call was long gone, with simply a dormitory wall phone hanging in place. John Myers, director of Wartburg Security and Safety, explained the procedure for a 911 hang-up call.
Normal protocol is that the police respond, but they call us first.
The first call came on December 1st, with dispatch alerting Wartburg security of a possible emergency. Someone had called 911 and then hung up, but by the time security arrived, whomever had made the call was long gone, with simply a dormitory wall phone hanging in place. John Myers, director of Wartburg Security and Safety, explained the procedure for a 911 hang-up call.
Normal protocol is that the police respond, but they call us first, and we go to the building because the 911 call was made and then there's a hang-up doesn't mean there's a problem. And we checked and couldn't find anybody in any type of distress. The police responded and found out the same, and then we went on our normal other duties.
But the story doesn't end there. Since December 1st, 6 other similar calls have been made, the most recent of which occurred on February 3rd. Almost all of the 911 calls were placed on this phone on the south side of the Grossman dormitory at Wartburg College. Each of the calls were placed during the night, ranging from 11:25 p.m. up until 2:10 a.m. Myers says that the calls are troublesome for the police department, particularly because of the need to respond to every call they receive.
They're coming on campus thinking there's a problem, and they have to assume every time there's a 911 call that there's an emergency, so they're responding accordingly. And I'm sure it's frustrating for them when they get there and find out it's just a prank.
Myers also says that although there have been calls like this in the past, there has never been so many in such a short time period. A Wartburg student caught video of the police outside the dorms during one call to the college, as you can see on your screen. Waverly Police Chief Richard Purcell says that the most recent call was the most distressing because they had to send an officer away from another call to respond to the one at Wartburg.
The officers are at a fire alarm call at Bartles, and one of the officers had a break free from the Bartles call.
Purcell says that the most important thing is to remember that prank 911 calls are serious.
Here's the unfortunate thing is that, these are the kind of conversations that we have where our officers, when they go to elementary schools, and they talk about, 911 isn't a toy.
False 911 claims are a punishable misdemeanor offense. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Alicia Ungs.
If you have any information regarding who may be calling, please alert campus security or resident assistants.
Some students have decided that they would like a little more freedom to choose who they live with on campus and have come up with a new approach to solving the issue. A proposition has been put forward to have gender-inclusive housing on campus. Todd Greer wants to test the policy that would make one of the buildings in Knights Village a gender-inclusive area. In this house, there would be same-sex rooms, but a common area for both to share. Greer came up with this idea based off of a similar policy from Simpson College, and the application to live in this house would be the same as for the rest of Knights Village, and before confirmation, this policy must first pass through the school cabinet, but there is a significant support in favor of it passing.
So our hopes is to use Knights as like a test run, since it is only senior living, that we can use hopefully the most mature students to try this out. And if it works well in Knights, then we're hoping we can generalize the policy to more dorms such as the res.
Now let's take a look at your local weather.
Wartburg College will be short one residence hall next year. Cedar Valley Today's Kaylin Thompson tells us which one is closing and why.
The halls of Hebron look empty here, but soon the rooms will be empty. Wartburg College has decided to close the Hebron Residence Hall for the 2017-2018 school year. According to Director of Residential Life Cassie Hales, the door to Hebron will be locked next year and students will live among other buildings on campus.
So Centennial will now become all male, and Volmer will become all female or stay all female. And so that allows our first year students and any returning students, if they want to still live there, the option to live in a single gender dorm or residence hall.
Vice President for Finance and Administration Rich Sagerman says one reason for closing Hebron was to save maintenance costs. Sagerman says the college plans to use the $80,000 that would have went into maintenance costs for Hebron and put it towards renovations in the manors.
First of all, we're going to get feedback from the students that live in the manors or that have lived in the manors in the past in regards to what particular areas they think need to be addressed are the largest concerns for them.
Hale says there were two other reasons for closing Hebron: the available space due to enrollment and the new Focus on the Future campaign.
Playing off of the momentum that we have right now with donors from the Clinton renovation and talking to people about what the residential campus looks like in the future and what our students' body is going to look like in the future and kind of what we can do and create for students on campus.
Hales will be in charge of the task force that decides the future of Hebron. They will have to make a recommendation to the college's cabinet this upcoming fall. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Kaylin Thompson.
Hale says there's already a lot of ideas circling about what to do with Hebron. One was modeling Clinton's Living Learning community. Hale says that all task forces of the Focus on the Future campaign are planning to meet next week.
After the break, we'll look at some local sports news. Stick around.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Tomorrow, Wartburg hosts the 14th Annual Unified Sports Day. Wartburg College will be having a special event on Saturday, February 11th. Unified Sports Day returns to campus tomorrow. Tyler Metcalf has more on what to expect from the event.
Special Olympics Iowa will host the 19th Annual Wartburg Unified Sports Day. While Wartburg athletics are successful, On this particular day, there will be some new athletes. A special day to get the opportunity to interact with them.
Obviously, the athletes that are coming in with Special Olympics Iowa, have different disabilities or limitations. They can't really do all this stuff, but they definitely look up to the students here at Wartburg.
Putting this day together is no easy task. Co-organizer Heather Zychek, in her first year leading the event, says the planning and meeting began in October. She said she's excited for her first experience.
From what I've been told, it's a great day, especially for our student athletes to give back.
This day is for the athletes to play a bunch of games at 18 different stations. It's a good opportunity for the volunteers to reflect.
Not only are they learning from you, but you learn from them. Just that joy and that pure bliss to be out, playing a sport.
Zychek says she is expecting great things once the day is all over.
Again, I think it's going to be a great day, a very rewarding day and humbling experience.
Although the sign-up for the event has passed, those who are still interested in joining in on the day are more than welcome. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Tyler Metcalf.
Zychek says there will be around 75 Special Olympic athletes, a number that is up from last year.
Waverly Shell Rock's Austin Pipe has done some great things on the basketball court, both in the season and throughout his 4 years. Tyler Metcalf has more.
1,000 career points, most all-time rebounds in school history, UNI basketball commit. Those are all things that Waverly Shell Rock's Austin Fife can check off his list. The next thing up, state championship.
We want to be playing our best basketball right now against these teams so we can take it into districts and then hopefully follow that on the state and then deep into the state tournament.
Fife started playing basketball like you would imagine, at a young age. His first word, ball.
My first memory is, I very vividly remember it, but it was on one of those mini hoops. I had a little ball and I remember making my first basket.
Everyone in his family has claimed a state title. His dad in basketball, mom in softball, and sister in swimming. While he's still looking for his own hardware, he's bought into what Coach has to say.
Everything we do it for a reason. We need to trust the process. We need to really try to focus on getting better each day.
Coaches and teammates agree that Fife's 20 points and 13 rebounds per game help everyone out.
Oh, it's the best thing in the world. I mean, I'm just a little point guard, and all I got to do is just get him the ball and let him do his thing. And
he's such a well-rounded player, and he's worked really hard at developing his whole game.
You can talk about Fife's stats, his UNI commitment, or his 1,000 career points. But don't forget to talk about his character.
He's such a great kid and a trustworthy kid and a respectful kid, and can't say enough about his character.
I still want to focus a lot of my stuff around character also and be nice to people and show that aspect of it.
As great as Fife is on the hardwood, he's even better off of it. And even though his Go Hawk basketball career is coming to an end, he's hungry for more.
Really big goal of mine I really want that state championship.
Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Tyler Metcalf.
Fife and the rest of the Go Hawks begin postseason play Monday, February 20th.
The Wartburg Knights basketball teams hosted heated rival Luther Norse at Levick Arena on Wednesday night for another Beat Luther day. The doubleheader ended with two very different finishes. The doubleheader began with a matchup between the top two teams in the conference for women's basketball. The number 11 and 13 and top-seeded Knights were looking to make up for their only conference loss earlier this season to the Norse, and boy did they. Wartburg would lead for nearly the entire game and took an 18-point lead into the halftime break. Luther would keep fighting, but ultimately fall 77-54. With the win, Wartburg clinched its first Iowa Conference regular season championship since 2003, and it's also the first conference title under head coach Bob Amsbury. The Wartburg men's team entered into what was a must-win game. The game started very well for the Knights as they got out to a lead of 26-8, but Luther would come roaring back. Wartburg led for over 37 minutes, but a 20-3 run for Luther would allow the Norse to win 69-64. The Knights are now the 7th seed in the IIAC, and only the top 6 teams advance to the conference tournament.
Wartburg Wrestling won their 25th consecutive and 35th overall Iowa Conference championship last night. The team beat Loris 32-0 to take the title. This is the third double IAC championship won in a shutout, and the first since Wartburg beat Buena Vista in 2005.
With the college basketball season in full swing, University of Northern Iowa guard Angie Davison was just named to the 2017 All-State WBCA Good Works team, considered to be one of the most prestigious off-the-court honors in college basketball. Only 10 players from the 97 nominees back in November were selected for their distinguished community service. After the break, we'll take a look at what's trending in the Cedar Valley. Stick around.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
And here's what's trending in the Cedar Valley area. UNI and Hy-Vee will be hosting Junior Panther Night on Saturday. The event is an opportunity for kids aged kindergarten to 6th grade to meet student athletes and learn some basic skills and health tips. The event is free if you register by the end of the day today. Registrations are also accepted at the door the night of for $5. Both the Wartburg men's and women's cross-country teams were named USTF-CCCA All-American teams. The men's team was recognized for the 7th straight season and finished with a combined GPA of 3.47. The women earned those honors for their 11th straight season with an overall GPA of 3.67. 7 Knights were also named individual academic All-Americans. Cedar Valley Chamber Music presents an evening of romantic classic vocal and music at the Hearst Center for the Arts in Cedar Falls this Saturday starting at 7 p.m. The Valentine's Serenade concert will feature 2 soprano vocalists and a pianist. For tickets and more information, visit the Cedar Valley Chamber Music Facebook page. Chocolatier Stam and Peterson and Teas Florists and Greenhouses are partnering to offer several different flower and chocolate combinations. This Valentine's season, they are giving away a dozen roses and a large grand gesture heart box by Chocolatier Stam that has over 50 different bonbons. The gift has a value of $165. To enter the drawing, like and share their Facebook post. A winner will be announced February 13th. Now let's go back to Sam at the desk.
Thank you, Alyssa. The Hospice and Palliative Care Association of Iowa, or HCPAI, recognized 5 Cedar Valley hospice volunteers last fall. Mike Walden and Sister Janine Kuhn were honored from the Cedar Valley Hospice's Waterloo site, Jean Lansky from the Waverly site, Dorothy Duffy from the Independence site, and Kay Schultz from the Grundy Center site. Congratulations to all of them. And it's almost time for the demo show. It's an annual show put on by the Wartburg Chemistry, Physics, and Engineering Clubs. Rehearsals and run-throughs have been happening for this week. to prepare for the show on Saturday. Students Juliana Olagi and Linda Neely have a gummy bear and heat to show the digestive system works. Neely first saw the show last year and knew she wanted to participate when she was a student.
I think students should come because it brings out the little kid in you. Like, it's a fun thing to do on a Saturday night with your friends or family, or like if you have little siblings.
The theme for the demo show this year is the human body. The experiments will show how the human body works, and this show is on Saturday at 7 p.m. in Newman Auditorium. The event is free for everyone. Let's take a look at your local weather.
Tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
During the Student Senate meeting yesterday, a panel was held to discuss the future of Wartburg. Dean of Students Dan Kitttle was a part of that panel, and he joins me this morning to talk a little bit more about that. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So the big idea of this was to sort of give a grasp on the future of the college. Can you fill us in a little bit?
Yeah, so we have in the process of launching what's called Focus on the Future, which is a constituent-based planning process. So if you think about it, we're getting ready to conclude a 10-year strategic plan in 2020, and we've also concluded our campaign, our fundraising campaign early. So there's a lot of really positive momentum for the college to say, okay, what are the half a dozen or so strategic priorities and how we pursue those. So that's what yesterday was, to say, okay, we're transitioning to this focus on the future, here are the 7 priorities, and then obviously get students engaged in that process.
Cool. Could you give us sort of an idea, what are some of the bigger of the 7 priorities, if there are any?
I wouldn't say one is bigger than the other, except that they're rooted in different areas of the institution. So, for example, you have engineering and health sciences, which are obviously principally within the academic realm, and so considering new majors, expanding those programs. And then the others that come to mind would be the regional partnerships and experiential learning and entrepreneurial endeavors. And those are opportunities looking to extend the college's reach either into markets in which we're already in, like Des Moines or Denver through Wartburg West or the Des Moines program, or exploring new markets and new opportunities. But what I would say is that overall is what the mission of the college is really strong. Anybody who comes on campus, students, faculty, staff, guests, that's the strength of the institution. How can we extend that call to ensure students lead lives of leadership and service to new audiences. And that, I think, is one of the underlying principles or ideas of the whole process.
Cool. So another thing that was mentioned at the panel yesterday was the issue of sexual misconduct on campus. There was some controversy as to whether or not the college was handling that properly.
Sure.
Can you explain the process that goes into that?
Sure. So, I honestly wouldn't say it was controversy so much as that the gentleman wanted to raise the issue, which at the time I said was, I think I applaud him for that. I mean, I think, there are things that keep a dean of students up at night, and sexual misconduct, alcohol abuse, are things that, and mental health are things that keep me awake at night, that worry me. And so I was happy to hear him raise the issue. I mean, as far as how the college handles it, it's very well prescribed in our student handbook, but I would just highlight and just raise students' awareness to say the part that obviously starts the whole process is reporting. And so there are multiple ways in which students can report, but that's the takeaway, is that if there are these incidents happening, if students are concerned about individual safety, they should be reporting those to either myself, Karen Thalacker, John Myers, or any faculty or staff member on campus.
You also mentioned yesterday that there were some changes that have been implemented.
Yeah.
To sort of make the process a little bit more safe and more, I guess, better for the victims.
Yeah, and that's absolutely, and that's in response to the Department of Justice. The Obama administration really focused on this issue and worked with experts in the field to change some of the best practices. And so in the past, as you picked up yesterday, if you were at the Senate meeting, there was a hearing board. And we've moved away from that. We, as in other words, all college and university. And now the focus is really on ensuring there's a report, and then their investigators, there would be a male and a female that would investigate and interview both parties and multiple parties, witness to that, and then make a recommendation to the Title IX coordinator, who is Karen Thalacker. And then any appeal would come to myself as Dean of Students. I mean, there's obviously other pieces of the process, but I think those are the highlights of the process that we have in place.
Okay, good. Well, that's about all we have time for. So
Sure.
Thanks once again
my
for
pleasure.
coming in this morning. We'll be right back after the break.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
Wartburg College hosted a summer camp fair. On Wednesday, different camp representatives were on campus to recruit students for summer jobs. This job fair gave students an opportunity to easily look for summer jobs. Students had the chance to sign up with camps that interested them, and then they went through the application process.
Yeah, we have an application application process, and so anyone who finds a camp that they're interested in can talk with the specific camp about their application process, but usually there's an online or a paper application, and then we do some interviews and some references as well.
Thank you for watching Cedar Valley Today.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for more Cedar Valley content. Have a great day, Cedar Valley.